Come to this now. Northwest Transport investment workers have not been paid for 5 months now. The bus company filed for a business review, which left workers without pay. The Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport has allegedly been granted 66 million rand in subsidies, but workers say they still have not been paid, and no communication has been made about how and when exactly they will be paid. We're now joined by Dave Lebusa, who is a General Secretary for the South African Workers Union, Sawu-Ya Bashumi. And Dave, thank you so much for joining us. A very warm good morning to you, but I'm sure it's not a happy, time for workers. They still haven't been paid, I understand, for 5 months. What issues still remain between, the workers as well as the company?
Look, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Now, the issues now are that they received the 66 million from the Gauteng as a subsidy, which some of this money were allocated to some of the creditors. And now I am of the view where we're sitting now with workers that the Northwest government is not being open about these processes and telling the workers the truth. Because many of this information we had to find and dig on our own to find exactly what is happening. We had to make our own means on our own to make sure that we meet with the business rescue, which we understand very well the role of the business rescue into that particular business, which is NTI. Now, as the South African Workers Union, Sawu-Ya Bashumi, was saying that the Northwest government should be open about this process. Otherwise, if they are not being honest about this process, playing politics at the expense of the lives of these workers, that on its own will fight against it. Yeah. Where we're sitting now, the situation is that workers have not been receiving their salaries. They received very less money. I mean, some of them, you could see depression directly so. That they are very worried every day that generally when are they going to receive their money. We had to make means on our own as a union that let's try to find out where is the business rescue. And we had to meet with the business rescue so that he's able to explain to us. Just a couple of days ago, the HOD of Northwest told us exactly that there is 77 million that they claimed that when they give the money to the NTI, therefore the business rescue will decide as to what is it that is going to do with the money. But now, where we are now, we have just signed an undertaking with the business rescue, Thomas Summons, who agrees clearly so that he will pay the 77 million directly to the workers. Where we're waiting now as the union is that we are waiting to see if indeed Northwest have that 77 million to pay these workers. And we're simply saying that workers will not go back to work until their money is into their account.
When it comes to the business rescue practitioner, you mentioned that the Northwest hasn't been forthcoming with information. They haven't been transparent, especially with the workers and the non-payment and the issues around non-payment. Has the business rescue practitioner given you any information whatsoever?
Look, after just meeting the business rescue day before yesterday, we realized that there were a lot of information that workers never had. There's a lot of threats around the site where business rescue raised issues that I can't come on site because my life is at risk. There's a lot of politics played there, and then even at some point, even workers will tell us that also your life is not safe. And I could not even attend the funeral of the workers that we were making sure that they need to receive the money of burying their loved ones. So we could not even go there because when we were there, we were told some of the other words that in trying to say be safe for this and that. But we said, look, we are prepared to meet whatever that is coming. Where we are, we're not discussing anything that has got nothing to do with workers. We're discussing issues of the workers, that workers must be paid. If workers are paid, any other issues that has to do with business, it's generally none of our business. We are saying that workers must be paid. When workers are paid, everything is under control. There's an organization called Sawu there that has been there for a couple of years and all that. Workers lose their pensions, lost their medical aids and all those kind of things. So at some point, the other unions are just playing unnecessarily politics at the expense of the lives of these people. As we speak, yesterday, one of the other bus drivers, which is probably maybe the 7th person who's passing on, and nobody understands as to exactly what is happening. But all of them are saying, people are depressed, my brother. People are depressed. Some their cars are being repossessed. There's just a lot.
Yeah.
And all of them, our parents there, when they come to talking to us to say generally what needs to be done. I mean, if employees, when you leave, saying, don't you have anything that I can just put, give a grocery at home? Where we're sitting, workers don't have anything generally. They don't have anything. I'm saying that if you're sitting with them, there you realize that generally here there's a serious crisis.
Right.
So I'm saying that there must be accountability on the NTI company, because generally there are the reasons why we are at this mess. No one must, at where we are sitting, blame the issue of the business rescue. Business rescue would not be there if generally they were doing the correct work. Generally, we believe where we're sitting that they've misused the money of the taxpayers.
When it comes to the workers now, and it's so tragic that you mentioned that some have even passed away without having been honoured with their salaries, having left nothing for their loved ones. What are the next steps now for the workers? And I understand, Dave, this is 1,300 workers here that you're representing. What are they saying in terms of, well, besides the point that obviously they want their salaries, they want to be paid so they can honour their financial commitments and earn a proper living. But what steps need to be done or will be taken then by the workers?
Look, where we're sitting is that we don't want the company to be liquidated. That's where we are as we speak. Workers, where they are is that, in fact, what we have done as a union is that we had to speak to directly on the side of the business rescue in saying that they must pay their package of funerals and all that, which at least they have done so 2 days ago in making sure that they must receive they must be able to prepare for the funerals. Otherwise, there was generally nothing for them. Some of them could even postpone this. But what workers are saying is that, look, we need to receive this money, because it has been happening whereby at some point they will say, no, go back to work, and they will get paid. And later on, they don't get paid. But what workers are generally worried about is that the Northwest government must be open about it. They must be open about it. They must be transparent about these issues of the workers. So generally, where workers are sitting now, they are saying that they are generally tired. What they need is to go back to work. However, they can't go back. They cannot continue to go back to work anymore if their salaries are not being paid, because they've been. These workers have tried going to work for over 3 months without salaries. So to the 4th month, in general, in the labor space, that is a taboo. So we're saying that the CEO and those who are in charge of the NTI must do the correct work. We've met with the MEC of transport in Northwest. We had to take buses to Mafikeng, from Mafikeng to Potchefstroom, which we had a hope that we were going to find President Cyril Ramaphosa in saying that there's a problem here. Can we please try to find any other means whereby follow all due processes and pay all these creditors? And therefore, as government, they will find a way as to how can they deal with those particular matters. But where we're sitting is that generally there's nothing else. Workers are not even being addressed. At least the person that, I think he's trying, is the HOD, which at some point you can't just find him at any given time. And that frustrates also even the process. That's why on our own we had to find a way as to how do we meet the business rescue. The business rescue explained exactly what was supposed to be done, which we also expected that. And the business rescue shared the relevant information and also committed through a letter that I will pay the 77 million. That time of 66 million, he had to pay some of the other creditors, which if he were to pay directly only the workers, some of these creditors would have simply taken their buses to say, okay, well, if you don't pay us, we are taking our buses. So generally, hence I'm saying Northwest government should be open about this process. It is Northwest government that tells us that they in fact giving a loan to the business rescue or to NTI that later on this and that. But generally, the business rescue have a different view around that. To say, look, I am the one who requested this money. But when they play politics on the other side, they are saying, no, in fact, this is what so that workers have this understanding that the business rescue is against workers, which where we're sitting, it is not directly that. I mean, the business rescue is at the corner whereby if he's been given a small money to do that, what needs to be done? who are saying that they need to work on a turnaround strategy in bringing back that particular business. Where we're sitting is that we need workers to be paid their money. Otherwise, any other negotiation would not be given any attention from us as a union.
Well, thank you so much, Dave, for coming on and speaking to us about these very pressing matters affecting 1,300 workers. And we understand some have even tragically passed away before seeing, them being honoured with what they worked for and their loved ones having nothing to be left with. That's, of course, SAU Secretary General. That's Dave Lebusa joining us.